Hey there, this is Wake Angel 2001. If you're wondering why I'm just wearing a hat and not a Sonic shirt, it's because it's 7:30 in the morning and I haven't had a chance to comb my hair and I'm sparing you my ridiculous bedhead. Yes, it is time for another Sonic Boom vlog. Today's episodes were called Translate This and Buster. Of course, we know it has to be on at 7 in the morning because, Cartoon Network's schedule is just so full on Saturday mornings. I mean, where would they put this, 2.5 hour marathon of Clarence reruns? And another hour after that of Amazing World of Gumball reruns. Followed by an hour and a half of, of Gumball reruns. Seriously, Cartoon Network, binge watching is what Netflix is for. You actually are supposed to put different shows on. You don't just play the same show for multiple hours at a time. That's ridiculous. Okay, enough complaining about the stupid time slot and Cartoon Network's ridiculous scheduling. Time to talk about the episodes themselves. First, let's translate this. Another episode that we got a brief preview of at the Sonic Boom event. Tails builds a robot he calls UT, for Universal Translator. He demonstrates it to his friends by showing it translates some bird speech, but then it turns out that that if you're actually talking in your own language, the robot will translate what you actually said into what you meant. In other words, he's basically reading your mind. And hilarity ensues with the thing. It basically just insults everybody because in real life we tell each other lies, or at the very least hide some truths so that for the very sake of politeness, so you don't hurt anybody's feelings. Of course, this thing is giving people the unfiltered, uncensored truth. So at the very least, you're gonna embarrass people. Like the thing says that let's see, what are some of the hilarious things that it says? I think my favorite translation is when Tails says it. Like, it seems that since you're already talking the language, the UT is translating into what you really meant. I did not intend this, but I will gladly take credit for it. Yeah. So, instead of just repeating what it says, Dr. Eggman, who apparently has spy cameras on them all the time, which is kind of weird, and he realizes that if UT can do this kind of stuff, then he can make them fight amongst each other. So he builds a duplicate robot, and while Tails is asleep at night, he makes them swap places. Then, the next day, the robot comes in, and it just starts saying really mean and hurtful things. And when Sonic's friends all start to fight each other, Tails wonders what the heck is wrong with QT, and he opens it up and finds that Dr. Eggman put in a speaker with an Eggman logo on it. Because branding is very important for supervillains. So Tails tells everyone that it's a fake and they gotta go rescue the real one, and they don't want to. Well, frankly, I wouldn't want to either. I wouldn't want a robot that translates my uncensored thoughts for me. So Tails opts to go rescue him himself. Meanwhile, Dr. Eggman is loving UT because every time he says something to it, it repeats back praise, because Dr. Eggman is a massive narcissist who's always thinking good things about himself. So Tails infiltrates the lab and he falls to the ceiling and lands in a Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Dr. Eggman makes a big old cake. Like, would you like a piece of cake? Like, this is a fantastic cake. I hope nobody sits in it. So he sits on the coffee table, and then Tails falls through the ceiling, through the what do you call those What do you call those windows in the ceiling? Daylight, daybreak. I don't know. Skylight. Yes, he falls through the skylight and lands in the cake. And then Tails says, "Eggman, I'm here to get back UT. Landing in this cake hurt my credibility." Yeah, that was embarrassing. So Tails offers that if he returns UT, he'll become his lab assistant. So Dr. Eggman, he thinks that if Tails is working with him, then he can raise his win ratio from the 50% that he always goes to. So so what happens? Tails. So Eggman says that he'd gladly take him on as a lab assistant, but then if he does, then Sonic and his friends will come to rescue him. So Tails says, that won't be necessary. I'll use UT to record a message. It says, hey guys, I'm in Dr. Eggman's lab. I'm super safe and happy. You don't need to come rescue me. Bye. So the robot goes back like, oh hey look, it's Tails' robot. Okay, if anybody asks, we searched everywhere for him. And by the way, Styx just wants to destroy him. Styx has been saying smash the stupid thing ever since the beginning, because she's very paranoid and she doesn't like things reading her mind. So the thing goes R2D2 and plays a hologram of Tails' message, and it translates, hey guys, I very cleverly infiltrated the lab, but now you need to come rescue me. Because everybody is a narcissist, apparently. So they go to the lab, they fight off a bunch of robots, and Dr. Eggman calls in the boss robot, which kind of looks like the Gutsdozer from Mega Man 7. Gutsdozer. So the thing is really tough and they can't fight it. There's teamwork, and UT actually translates some inner thoughts that shows the friends that they all care for each other, so yay. And they managed to destroy the giant robot by knocking one of its own bombs back into its Cyclopean eye. Very, very boss battle-ish. And then Dr. Eggman, with his super robot defeated, retreats back into his lair, and Tails says, alright, that means that we have QT again, and he'll be with us and having adventures for a long time. And then Styx throws him in the ocean, saying it had to be done. And we end like that. I love that abrupt punchline ending. That's the kind of ending that was made really popular in shows like Regular Show and Adventure Time. But this was a much more action-oriented episode than last week's fair, which is more comedy-centered. Although it still was very funny. I like it when the action and the comedy blend. That's always been when you had the strongest mix in a show like this. So yeah, like a big part of what makes this episode so enjoyable is the line delivery. So me giving you the synopsis is one thing, but you actually have to watch and see how the characters interact with each other. It's just funny. It's and the action beats are good too. The animation is very good. I heard some people complaining, like, I was reading on a 4chan thread about Sonic Boom, that when Sonic moves, he seems to be going in slow motion. I guess that's because they're actually rendering him taking steps instead of just reducing his feet to a blur. But, you know, when Sonic attacks things, he actually does move really fast. So yeah, the show continues to look good in CGI wise. I mean, it has decent looking backgrounds. The characters aren't too stiff. They move around a little bit. The mouth flaps aren't all that perfect, but I guess that's because this is it's a French studio that made it, so maybe the mouth flaps are French or something. But it's still a really good show, and it's nice to see that it can do action as well as comedy. Speaking of action, the following episode was Buster, and it starts with a pretty good action scene. Dr. Eggman has built a robot fireman, who is the opposite of a fireman. Instead of putting out fires, he causes fire. So basically he built himself an arson bot, and just made it look like a fireman. Let's see. So yeah, he the anti-fireman, he does things like he tries to put a baby into a burning building. He puts a cat up into a tree. Oh, and we get to see a lot more citizens in this episode, because the robot's attacking a town, and the town has a lot of background characters in it. And I noticed a couple of the background characters looked a bit familiar. Like the baby that they were putting into the fire was a walrus, and the walrus and his mother, they looked a lot like Rotor from the Archie comic. I'm pretty sure that was an intentional homage, and I don't think I got a very good look at it, but the person selling ice cream looked a lot like Blaze the cat. I only caught a glimpse of her though. I'm not even sure if it was a she, but it's nice to see the little they put in little Easter eggs like this, like making the background characters look like characters from other bits of Sonic canon. Yeah, that for me, that's one of the high points of this episode. Okay, so moving on. When they tell Styx to get the kitty out of the tree, but she does it by shaking the tree until the cat falls out. So that's when they realize that Styx doesn't like animals. I guess I gotta delve into her past a little bit more, but it's always been heavily implied that she grew up by herself in the wilderness. So I guess she just kind of sees animals as competition or something, because she doesn't like them. So they figure that they can get Styx to like animals more if she gets a pet. So Sonic takes her to the pet store, and she doesn't like all the cute, cuddly, fuzzy animals. But then they find a robot dog that looks like Goddard from Jimmy Neutron, and she loves the thing. So they take it home, and it's a robot that just spews green slime on everything, but everybody hates the disgusting thing, but she is absolutely in love with it. So there's a montage of the thing barfing green slime all over the place, and everybody hates the stupid thing, and but Styx says that she's not gonna let them kick it out. Like, if it goes, she goes, and she's not going. So Sonic's like, oh, I guess that means we're going. So they're all about to leave, and Tails like, wait a second, this is my house! Because, apparently they each had their own houses, and Tails has his own. It's much more implied that everyone's neighbors here, because when they're not fighting Eggman, they're just kind of lounging around and playing volleyball. So, apparently they're all neighbors in this very nice beachfront property. It's a lot better than the Sonic Hobo that we got in the Adventures cartoon. There's a heist. Cubot and Orbot are stealing a bunch of stuff from the Dangerous Munitions factory, which the big warehouse of it. And the citizen's like, help! Somebody's robbing the Dangerous Munitions depot. Yeah, we have one of those. So Sonic and his friends are trying to stop Cubot and Orbot, but Goddard gets in the way. Styx names it Buster, but I'm gonna call it Goddard because it freaking looks like Goddard. Yeah. So, the thing, like, it pukes slime over everybody, and then when Sonic goes to try and stop Cubot and Orbot from getting away, it trips him. And next scene. That's where they say that it has to go where they go. And then when they open the door to leave, Dr. Eggman's there. He says that he's the one that built the robot, and he considers himself its father. So he has a gift for it, since Styx loves it so much. A little robot dog biscuit. When Goddard eats a dog biscuit, he turns into this giant robot dog with tentacles for legs. They're the tentacles that Dr. Eggman had Cubot and Orbot steal from the Dangerous Munitions depot. And it's a pretty good super robot. It actually manages to capture Sonic and all of his friends, and Styx is unwilling to fight it because, she loves it. So she tries to appeal to its good nature by talking about all the good times they had. And we see this whole little montage sequence of them learning to jump through flaming hoops and exploring ancient ruins and all that. And then Styx says, yeah, I don't remember any of that either. Yeah, apparently they just saw made up, like they show montage of stuff that wasn't in the episode, and the reason it wasn't in the episode is because it didn't actually happen. And yes, a jab at the fourth wall. Like, the characters watched the montage like, I don't remember any of that. Do you remember that? Nope. Just because it was a montage doesn't mean it actually happened. So in the end, instead of appealing to his better nature, she gets into the discipline. She commands it. Bad dog. Put everybody down. And so Dr. Eggman and Sticks are arguing. They're each, it's the old two masters trying to command the same pet. But in the end, Goddard ends up obeying Sticks. He puts everybody down. He barfs up the evil dog biscuit, so he turns back to normal. And then Eggman runs away because I don't have my super robot dog anymore. So in the end, Sticks gives him a little hobo sack, and he goes off on his own because you can't have an evil super robot living in your house. And this episode was good too. I mean, this is good comedy. It's just, the show's just funny, and the action the action's good too. So we had some good action and some good comedy, and that's all I really wanted from this show. Now, I remember, relating back to the 4chan thread, a lot of people's expectations for this show were for it to be more like the Adventures of Sonic cartoon. But the way the characters all interact with each other, I saw a meme like saw Sonic Boom, was expecting screen cap of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. What I got, and then they show a picture of Seinfeld, which is appreciable. Because the way the characters all interact with each other, it really is more like Seinfeld. It actually kind of reminds me of the Looney Tunes show, with Bugs and Daffy as roommates, and that's something to appreciate. Because you know what, that Seinfeld's kind of good. I like the whole screwball roommate / neighbor / friends aesthetic that they have going on. And Dr. Eggman, he's less like an arch villain out to conquer the world as he is like Newman. Because I'm starting to wonder, does Sonic's world even have a justice system? Because while his anti-fireman is attacking the city, committing multiple acts of arson and attempted homicide and property damage and all this crap, he's sitting on a bench reading a newspaper without a care in the world, even after he confesses that that he built the killer death machine. Nobody makes any moves to arrest him. There's like no cops or anything. So it's like the average citizenry just accepts their wacky neighbor who comes into town to try and kill them, and their other wacky neighbors use their superpowers that they have to fend him off. There's no justice system. There's no laws. There's nobody who's out to arrest Dr. Eggman and put him in jail. So, and it's kind of like Adventure Time, except that this isn't a post-apocalyptic wasteland anymore. This is just apparently a bunch of silly people who will accept whatever. Okay, so these episodes are fun and enjoyable. I really like them. I'm seeing the whole aesthetic going on with the crazy wackiness. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog by way of Seinfeld crossed with Adventure Time. I can dig it. I can totally dig it. Final note, I noticed the comments section on last week's vlog really got out there, with some character named Ebola-chan was saying a whole bunch of really weird, messed up stuff, like using foul language. I really don't want my comment section to devolve into that every week. I hope I don't have to start moderating things, because I try to leave my comments unmoderated, because free expression and all, but I really hope that people don't get all messed up and obscene, because if it's going to turn into that, I'm going to have to start blocking certain people, and I really don't want to do that. Anyway, this has been a Sonic Boom vlog, and this is Wake Angel 2001, signing off.